So now the next thing, so the next thing now is to look at the customer theme, the feedback theme. Let me go back to the sorry. Somebody said they are inside the park. Where are you? Sorry. Somebody should respond, please, in case so that. So the customers now that you've identified that, I don't think that side is working. But put it and see. So this, they are giving a suggested feedback. You understand that you will now categorize this customer feedback based on. You understand? So they give you a suggested feedback that you should look at these things and categorize them based on these things. You understand? Now, the easiest way to do this stuff, don't waste your time. If you want to, you can say, let me try my luck and stuff like that. And you say, okay, arrive late. What does it mean? Delivery issues, color not as shown, maybe maybe experience with purchase or product quality and stuff could be better product quality. So what the next thing I'm just going to do is to go to, I don't know, you guys are used to ChatGPT, right? Or Gemini AI or anyone. So you can just ask um, the ChatGPT, say categorize this feedbacks based on, so which feedback. I'm going to copy this feedback, right, and paste. So you can paste as what the hell? Okay. Yeah, so then these are the feedbacks, right? Then you now say based on this feedback on this feedback theme. What is the feedback theme? That I can come and stand though. If you don't want to stand, good morning. I can come and stand. So one of the reasons I said we should use Kada Hive is because they have a space where we can. Yeah. So paste without this. So I've already done the pasting, right? We've gotten the unique values of the customer feedback. Now these are the feedback themes. I'll just enter. I've done this already, but so it's going to categorize it for you easily without having to. Do you understand? Yeah, it will sort it for you. You understand? So we can say, okay, in a tabular form. So the thing with this AI, if you don't feed it information, it's going to give you the. So you can see it has done this for me. It becomes easier for you to copy, and so you can, with this one now, what you just can do is just to transpose, right? So let's say this is the feedback, everything, right? Copy, paste it somewhere here, right click and paste. No, you can. Okay. So what I can do now is I actually want it Can you see? Can you guys see? So I don't want it like this. You understand? I want it in such a way that it will come out for me something like this. So I can say equal transpose, and I'm just going to transpose everything here. Yikes. Oh, this is not nice. So the next thing I can just say, I don't like that. I can just paste it like this because I'm too lazy. Then I'll just put, so each of these theme, I'll just put it by the side here and just click down. Like this. Can you guys see here? You can't see like this. You don't understand. I wish I can be the one standing. I'll just be directing what to do what. And nobody, and even we came with the extension box now, she would have shifted it somewhere. So just for you to arrange them in a tabular format. So, oh, okay, cool. Again, I've done this before. So I can paste here. I really wanted us to go to that Kada Hive. You get value for money should be somewhere here. Satisfied with, okay, sorry. What's the other one? Experience with purchase. So we here, sorry, Control Z, Control R. Experience with purchase will be here. Where's customer service? Okay, so customer service will be here. Right. So the reason why I'm arranging it like this is I want to be able to feed my main data set. You understand? So I need to arrange it in such a way that I can use formula to feed my data set. Yeah. I'm going to teach you guys. So so what I want to do is to populate this, so I can either click, double click like that, but there's an easier way to do that. Let me show you guys something. So what I can do is just to highlight, press F5, go to special, select just blank. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You can ask it to. You can ask it to. So it depends on how you ask questions to your AI. No, I don't want it like this. Can you understand? Can you populate it well for me in such a way that each of these tick will take something? I don't know if you understand. So, so I've now done that based on. So this is a feedback theme, and this is customer feedback, right? So why did I do this? So it's for me to populate my main data set with the theme itself. Makes sense? So I can decide to create a feedback session, a feedback column called feedback category or feedback theme if I want. Sorry. Now, what I'm now going to do is to anywhere this is, I'll just populate it with the feedback theme. You understand? Which is why I wanted it. Yeah, which is why I wanted it something like this. Um, just to be safe, do you guys know VLOOKUP? So, I think I'm going to use VLOOKUP just to be safe. So VLOOKUP is in such a way that it's called vertical lookup. It looks from left to right, left to right. You understand? Um, Now the customer feedback is in my left. What I want to look for is in my right. So I'm going to use VLOOKUP. That's the reason why I change it here. There's a formula I can use to look at it backwards, but I'll just use this. So what I can now do is VLOOKUP. What am I looking up is asking for a lookup value. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking for, right? I want to populate this with the theme. So the VLOOKUP, the lookup value will be whatever is here. You understand? Um, my table array. Where do I want to look at this value from? Which will be here. Now, if you want to, you can start from the first cell or not, if you want to. This is my table array. Usually, it's advised that you lock both the row and the column by pressing F4. Then it's not going to ask you the column index. Now, the column index for VLOOKUP is wherever you highlight your table. You understand? So we have this table has two columns, right? So it's called asking you the column index. So it means that the first column will be column 1, the second column will be column 2. I don't know if that makes sense. So where I want to look at column index is this column 2. You understand? So I will just say 2. Then it's going to ask you range lookup, true or false. Always go for false. So you can go for false or 0. 0 is either 0 or 1. So you can see it said arrive late, it's delivery issues. If you want, you can check arrive late, delivery issues. So then, so the thing with the formula is that you don't have to follow manual process. You just do this once, and once if you write the formula well, you just click and drag, and it's just going to automatically populate. You understand? That's the thing with having to use formula. We can check randomly, could be better. Let's check what it is. Could be better. Experience with purchase. Damage on arrival. Let's see, where's damage on arrival? Where is it? Okay, damage on arrival is product quality. So you can see product quality. So once you can just no feedback, it said experience with purchase for some weird reason. Would buy again. Let's see. Would buy again. Would be, I think should be customer service. Would buy again. Value for money, right? Won't or will. Will buy again. Okay, would buy again is experience with purchase. So you can see the experience with purchase. So once you are certain that whatever is on this table is now correctly here, you can. So I usually, when I'm done with using a formula, right, I usually will copy and paste as value, because I don't want maybe I go and touch something, it screws up with my. So I'll just usually paste as value, and I'm done. And now you can answer your first question. The first question says, Um, okay. so, so what VLOOKUP does is, um, so we have our customer feedback here, and using AI, we've gotten a feedback theme, you understand, and we did a categorization of it, right? So what I want to do now is to transfer the equivalent of this, which is this, to back to this particular place. You understand? So I created a column feedback theme. So because I don't want to have to start saying arrive late, I will go here, check, and go back. You understand? So the that's why I use the VLOOKUP formula. What the VLOOKUP does is it will look up a particular value in a table. You understand? And return back whatever it is you want to bring back to it. So in this case, the feedback thing. You understand? So the VLOOKUP has a lookup value. It has a table of reference where you want to pick the data from. Then column index. You understand? Which column do you want to return back in that particular table? So if you are going to highlight a table that has 4 columns, it means that the first is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. If you want to return the 4th column value, so the column index there will be 4 because it starts from 1 like that. And then always use 0 as the last this thing. To say the lookup range, always use 0. So it will bring an exact match. You understand? So does that make sense? And so we can now answer the question frequency percentage. So if you now want, you can now do pivot table if you want. If you want, if either way works. Do you understand? If you get the extension, I'll be able to draw somewhere around there and sit comfortably. So, okay. So the next thing we can now do is to insert our pivot table, right? Let me see. Um, so the pivot table will automatically look for a table. Usually use new worksheets. What we're looking for is our good afternoon, our feedback team. We've gotten our feedback team. Unfortunately, we have NA for some weird reason. I don't know why. The next thing we are going to do is they want to know the frequency. Frequency is count. So you are going to count. So you just click and drag to value automatically to count. You understand? So automatically count. I don't know why feedback theme is showing me NA. Let me see. This is weird. Let me see. Okay. So for some weird reason, I think it's showing me NE, and I don't think there's any N. Is there any NE here? No, no, no. It's not supposed to be like that. It means that there's, yeah. Oh, so no return. Let me see. Is there no return here? Oh, so the I doubt if this guy gave me the complete data. So I have to start telling ChatGPT, you didn't give me this, you didn't give me that. But already I have this somewhere. I won't let's waste our time. Let me see. So I already have this somewhere. I'm just going to copy that. I've done this somewhere. Sorry, you have to stand. Is there any? No, no, no. I don't think there is anything for return status.
What I'm trying to say, I did check through the list. Only under the one said no return. I think that's where the problem is.
Let me see. What am I looking at? Oh, okay. Not recommended. Sorry. Thank you. What is not recommended? No, not recommended. Let's search for it. Control F. Recommend. Not recommended, right?
Do not recommend.
Is it
it's not recommended.
Oh, it's not here. So, anywho, like I said, I already have it somewhere here. So again, I already have it here.
Do not recommend.
Do not recommend. Okay, not recommended.
There is not recommended. There is not recommended. Okay, two of them.
Okay.
Two of them are there.
Does it have to do with spell?
Okay, look at it. Not recommended. Do not recommended.
This
Both
is
of
it.
them are there.
So there's not recommended. There's not.
Not recommended. Not recommended.
So value for money, not recommended. Not recommend value for money. So not recommend, do not recommend can be the same thing. I don't know if that makes sense. So like I said, I already have it here. I'll just copy this. So if you notice on my heading, right, I put AI here and I put mine, and that's because I tried to do it myself. So if you want, you can do it yourself. You understand? So, but I tried to do it myself, and if you guys want, I can share the file with you guys. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. Again, like I said, I'd already done it before. So okay, Control X, let's take it off. So I'll just repeat the same process again.
Sorry, a quick question. Can like one of the feedbacks be like into places like both value for money or maybe product description? Can it be like, does all the frequencies have to add up to the same number we have here, 150 something, or
Yeah, it has to add up.
has to add up to?
Yeah.
So that means you can't have one feedback in
It's just
another
weird.
one.
No, that would just be weird. That would just be weird. Which is why they give you a theme. You understand? So I will repeat the same process again. We've done this before. Now, like I said, you can either select from the first or the second. So let me check the last, if there is any NA. Okay, so there's no NA now, right? And so what I can then do is just to refresh this guy.
So you want what go to the NA?
No, I used a different, I used a different data for it. Like I said, I've done the categorization before. You understand? So I was just showing how to get those categorization through using AI. You understand? So now you can see the count of the feedback thing, and all is or 1,300. Yeah, so and if you want just to confirm, right, you are trying to do like a, I don't know, they call it litmus test. You are trying to confirm. You can just click here on one of the columns and you look at the count here, and you know this is 1,003. This so is a plus the header. So yeah, so it's complete. So here you can decide to change the values to frequency, right? Then so you have your frequency. You can still drag that same customer feedback thing back here, right? Now this time around, what you want to do is you want to change it to, since they said frequency percentage, so you just right click on any of the cell and go to summarize, so show value as, so percentage of grand total, and it gives you the percentage, and you have solved your first problem. I'm already recording it now. How do you want to snap it? Assume I'm recording it. So no, just recording it on my screen. What's the next question? I may not be able to upload it until
Yeah, you can just share. You can share with like Flash, right?
yeah, I can give you guys a flash. So the second question is a sentiment analysis distribution. So positive, negative, neutral. You already have that. You already have that column here.
Yes, I noticed something here. This positive.
Sorry, what did you notice? It's a mistake now. Now you can correct.
That's exactly.
Yeah, so you can correct it. So what you can do is see. It's very simple. You can see it's supposed to be negative, positive, neutral. Here they
That's
wrote
so positive.
positive. No, it's a mistake. There's no I. So what you can now do is to yeah, find and replace. Control H, and you say positive, right? Positive to positive, and you replace all. So you can see it has replaced the 124. Yeah, so you are good, right? So the pivot table, what you can now do is you don't really need to go back to pivot table. Just copy this and paste somewhere, right? Then this time around we'll go to where customer assessment. That's what we want to do. So let's remove this guy. Now let's see, just to refresh. I think it's showing because, so you can see, you have to just refresh. Then you copy. So they're asking you for both frequency and this. Make sure that, so for something like count, eh? So if they're asking you frequency of for instance, the frequency of feedback, if you are doing a count itself. So you count that same column, don't count another column, because the most likely that column is not complete. It might skew your. So I will not come and count sales channels, for instance, count itself. So you just click that same customer assessment, drag. Do you get? So you just do the same thing, and so you click and drag and click and drag again. So because you are doing both frequency and, so go to values just for clarity. You just say frequency, and the second one you can say percentage. So percentage distribution, and like I said, if you want to do percentage, you just right click, show as. So percentage of grand total. So if you are doing percentage is always of total. You understand? So, and if you want, you can change the you can reduce the decimal point. Yeah. So this, I'm just going to do this percentage. Make sense? So the next question is, so you can do your bar. I don't think bar pie chart is a problem. That's not a problem, right? Okay, so no, we'll just do one, but let's answer the most important thing here is just answer the question. So we'll do it then. Um, okay, good. Now you see this question, right? What is not here and what is here? What is not here in the region? If you guys studied the data, what is not here? What is not here is Asia Pacific. What is here is Australia. Now there's no Asia on the data set itself. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, there's no Asia on the data set. Let's go back. So that will be region, right? So if you look at it, we have Asia Pacific, Europe, Latin America, Middle East. They said Latin America. You understand? They didn't. So what is on that particular place is South America, but South America is Latin America actually. So all you just need to do is to browse. So something like North America is the United States. Asia Pacific is Australia and the rest. Yeah, if it was Asia, they would say Asia. But if they say Asia Pacific, you're talking about Australia. You can New Zealand. You can browse it. You understand? So you see, Asia Pacific countries. Asia Pacific countries. It will tell you China, but they don't consider that. So you can see. Yeah, they tell you China, but China is considered Asia. If you understand. So yeah. Let's see. So we have North America, Europe. We don't have Asia. You understand? We have South America, which is Latin America. You have Africa, but Africa is Africa and Middle East. Middle East and Africa, right? So it's still Africa. Then Australia is Asia Pacific. So if you want, if you now know this, you can decide to say, you just copy this guy. So you can do it two ways. You can decide to say, okay, now the other thing is, yeah, that reminds me, there are blank spaces here. That's another thing. So this is what I did. First of all, you see these customer ID. Thank God. Let's go there. The better place, does it have light? Ah.